Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Krystijaajacksonn. If you're not new here, welcome back and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you go ahead and like this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notifications. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be like a relationship type video. I'm just going to be talking to you guys today. It shouldn't be too long. We'll see, hopefully. If you don't know, I'm in a long distance relationship. My boyfriend lives in San Diego and I live in Los Angeles. That's only like a 2-hour drive, but nonetheless, that is a distance. So I have been in my relationship for almost 4 years, and we have been long distance for almost 3 years. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video kind of touching on the points of my relationship. I've gotten questions on how long we've been in a long distance relationship, how like that kind of started, and just like my feelings about it. So I wrote down some little bullet points that I wanted to talk about. So like I said, I've been in a long distance relationship for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in February of the long distance, and then we've been together for 4 years also in February. So can breathe for a second. But yeah, so that's the first question. The next thing I wanted to touch on is why we're long distance. So my boyfriend is originally from San Diego. He was born there, he grew up there, his family is out there, everything. Just like for me, I was born in Los Angeles, my family lives out here, everything like that. Like, I grew up here. Sorry y'all, the ring light is like in my glasses and it's like making me look like an alien, so I have to tilt my head down because I just couldn't get it together, y'all. And without my glasses, I just couldn't see, so trying to like adjust it but not look like a librarian. Anyways, but yeah, so my like I said, my boyfriend was born out there and I was born out here. So my boyfriend and I, we met in college. I went to Dominguez Hills. I graduated 2017, class of 2017, and I was in a 5-year program. 4 years turned 5-year program, right? So I met my boyfriend in my last year of college. If I would have graduated on time, I would have never met him. So, you know, God works in mysterious ways. I ain't mad at it. I spent that 5th year so I could get to know him, and it wasn't really about the school, it was about him. That's what I'm going to tell myself. So, but yeah, so we met in our 5th year of college. We started to date and like hang around each other, like, I want to say November. We were hanging out before that, like September, October, but we were just friends. In November, December is when we started to really get serious and kind of start hanging out more as far as dating wise. And then we made it official, obviously, in February. So that whole time we were still in school. We were both out here. My school was in Carson. So we were both out here, you know, dating, hanging out, everything like that. We made it official. And yeah, so my boyfriend originally wanted to move out here. After school, he wanted to stay out here and just live out here, and we were going to continue our relationship. He was able to stay out here the year that we graduated for the rest of that year. I won't go into details about that, but he was able to stay out here for the rest of that year. And then the circumstances first unfortunately changed, and he had to move back to San Diego. So the following year, 2018, in February, he got a job out there and he moved back to San Diego. So we have been in a long distance relationship since then. Yeah, we've been working on trying to figure out, you know, our living situation, him moving back out here because he says he wants to live out here, and I personally want to live out here as well. So that's kind of what our plan has been, is to both be in LA living together. So that's our plan. We've been working on that, trying to figure it out. Now, I feel like for a lot of people, like, when they think of long distance relationships, they think of like, oh, you live in California and they live in New York. And I mean, of course that is a long distance relationship, but I feel like any distance that's not like I could just drive to your house every single day is a long distance relationship. So, and then with the way like our jobs are set up, it's not as easy to just see each other all the time whenever we want to. Like, originally my job that I had when we were first dating, first in our long distance relationship, I had to work a lot on the weekends or at night. So it was kind of hard for us to, talk on the phone or video chat or see each other on the weekend because I had to work or I had to call off for us to be able to visit. So, sorry, y'all. So yeah, so that kind of put a damper on, the situation. I would say some of the pros of being in a long distance relationship. For some people, you might not think of this as a pro, but if you're a person that likes your space and you don't want to feel like suffocated by your significant other, or maybe just being with them all the time is too much for you, then a long distance relationship is perfect. Like, you see them when you want, you kind of carve out that time to spend time together, and then once you spend that time together, you guys can go to your separate little bubbles. You can still talk and communicate, but you can also do your own thing. You don't have to feel like I'm up underneath this person all the time, every day, like I'm with them all the time, I'm getting sick of them, So I feel like that, for people who enjoy that, would be a pro. Like, me personally, like, yes, sometimes I do want my space, but like an hour of my space, like we can be apart for an hour, 2 hours, and then come back together. The whole, I haven't seen my boyfriend in 3 weeks, I don't enjoy that. Me personally, like, I have had a lot of alone time in my life because I am an only child. So for me, I've been alone a lot of my life. Like, it's just been me. So I don't really need that space for such a long period of time. Like a couple of hours, like I said, at the most, to kind of do our own thing and then come back together is perfect for me. So I feel like for me personally, the long distance is definitely a con. And like I said, with that being said, the con of being long distance, it's like our schedules don't always link up. So for my boyfriend, he'll work like all day, from like early in the morning to late at night. So by the time, we get a chance to really talk, he has to get ready for work the next day, make food, shower, like kind of wind down. So it's not as easy for us to just jump into it and just kind of be communicating and spending that time together because we only have so many hours before we both need to go to sleep to get ready for the next day. So I feel like for me that's a really big con because I don't get to spend as much time with him as I would like. We don't get to have like conversations on the phone as much as I would like just because our schedules are so busy, or they're just so polar opposite that they don't intertwine the way that they should. So for me, like I said, that's a con for me. Another pro, honestly, it's kind of hard to think of them. I feel like the only pro is, you get that alone time for yourself. I don't really see, when you're in a relationship, it's kind of hard to have a pro when you're long distance. Like, the whole point of a relationship is to be with somebody, to spend time with somebody, to, have that, communication and that time together. I do feel like long distance does make you look at your situation differently. So when you solve problems, you have arguments, everything, you kind of have to come at them with a different aspect and like a different point of view because you are long distance. Like, you can't see that person, you can't see their emotions as much. If you're like talking on the phone or whatever like that, you can't see them, and then you won't be able to have that physical connection with them. You have to deal with it over the phone or through a text message. So you kind of have to look at your, relationship in a different light and kind of take it differently because there's other stuff that goes into maybe why you're having an argument or why you're upset, because maybe you are just missing that person, so that's kind of driving up your anxiety or driving up your stress level. So now you're snapping at them. So you kind of have to just take it differently and look at them differently in just the situation in, its entirety. Kind of take a step back and wonder, like, am I really mad because of what happened? I'm gonna try my book. Am I really mad because of whatever is happening, or am I just missing them? Which is kind of upsetting my emotions in a different way, So that, I guess I would say that was a pro. Trying to think if I have another con. Like I said, besides like just long distance in itself is like, I don't enjoy it. I'm very, very excited for this stage of my life to end, for us to move to the next stage and no longer be in long distance. So yeah, I'm gonna just move on. So the next question that I had that I wanted to answer: if given the choice, say something were to happen with me in my relationship and we were no longer together, and I had another chance or option to be with somebody long distance, I wouldn't do it. Like, it's just not how I picture, you know, my life. And at this point in my life, like, I couldn't do that. Like, with my boyfriend, we were together for a while before we became long distance, you know. If we had met, like, say I met him over like a winter break, and then I found out he went to school in Atlanta, like, that wouldn't have worked. You feel me? Like, he was just visiting and then he was going back. Deuces. Like, it just wouldn't have worked out because I've never pictured myself being in a long distance relationship. Like I said, me personally, I like to have somebody around me a lot. I like to be in their space, feel their energy, like, just have that connection with them. So the whole idea of being long distance, like, I just wouldn't be able to have fathomed that. If I wasn't already in love with my boyfriend when we became long distance, like, it wouldn't have flew. But I did love him. I did want to be with him. I saw a future with him. I still see a future with him. So I was willing to go through all those emotions, all those feelings, everything that we would have to go through, the obstacles, to be with him. Like, I wanted to be with him. However, that had to happen. When we first became long distance, every time he would, like, come out here to visit me, he would drive out here, and then when we go home, I would cry my eyes out. It was so sad. I was bawling. Like, I was so, and this was like early, so imagine 2-3 years of this. Not saying I still cry now, but I do get emotional sometimes. But 2-3 years of just, I gotta say goodbye to you, like, you gotta leave, you know. So initially, yeah, I probably wouldn't have done it. Like, it wouldn't have been something I could picture myself doing. But like I said, because I did love him, I was willing to go that extra mile and do whatever I needed to do to be with him. So, but yeah, if I had the option to do it all over again. And then the last question I have, I kind of feel like I answered it, but not at the same time. I have a question of, like, what are some ways to keep a long distance relationship going? One of the main things I would have to say is communication. We sometimes struggle with that, just communicating effectively, not getting upset over, like, little things, and understanding, like, you know, I'm just saying this not to be offensive, not to hurt your feelings, or, you know, anything like that. I'm just expressing myself. I'm just telling you how I feel or what I think or whatever. So sometimes I do feel like we still struggle with that, you know, of course. Communication. So yeah, sometimes we do struggle with our communication, and just, like I said, if you're having a conversation through a text message, sometimes the way you write it or just what you say can be misconstrued, and it's all about perspective. You want. I can't talk. It's all about perception. So sometimes he'll say something and the way I take it is not the way he meant it, but I am a sensitive person, so sometimes I just take stuff to heart and I just feel like he's personally attacking me when that's not what's happening, you know? So I feel like communication and just communicating effectively is like a really, really big thing. I mean, in any relationship, of course, but especially I feel like in long distance relationships, because that's pretty much all you have. Like, when you don't get to see them and be around them physically all the time, your communication, like, kind of takes a higher, you know, like, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but it's a little bit more important. So I feel like the communication has to be even better, even more, because that's all we have. Like, if we can't communicate effectively, like, we have to wait 3 weeks till I can see you to try to have that experience versus having that every day. If we have an argument that day, I can see you later in the day and then we can talk about it, but our physical and everything will contribute to that. Get me? Does that make sense? I hope so. But yeah, so I feel like that's one of the major things. And then also, with long distance, when you do get a chance to see that person, you have to make, like, those moments special. You know, like, even though, say you're dating for 5 years, you know, sometimes when you get in a relationship and you've been in a relationship for a long time, you kind of get comfortable. And so when you're around that person, you don't really do anything. You don't really, like, you know, you have to still make those moments special. So still go on dates. You have to still, like, you know, have movie nights. Like, make that person feel special. I feel like you have to cherish those moments even more, because you won't get another moment like this for 3 weeks, you know, or 2 weeks, or however long it is. So you have to make that moment that you spend with them as special as possible. I try my hardest not to, when we are together, have arguments or anything like that, because, you know, if we do have arguments when we don't see each other, I don't want to see him and then argue more, you know. So I try my hardest not to do that. I mean, I'm not always perfect. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes we do argue in person, but I try my hardest to just enjoy those moments and not think about any of those past arguments. Of course, you do need to address it, but don't make those moments that you do get to see that person all about that. Let's see, is there anything else? But yeah, it's just, like I said, it's just all about really putting in that effort when you are in a long distance relationship, putting in that effort to let that person know, you know, this is what I want, this is where I want to be, I'm still here with you, even though we're not here together every single day. You know, I care about you, you mean something to me, every day I think about you, like, you are special to me, you cross my mind, like, those kind of things. So yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully that was kind of helpful as far as long distance relationships are concerned. If you do have any other questions that maybe I didn't answer or didn't touch upon in this video, go ahead and please leave those down below and I will answer your questions. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know also in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I think that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and baby, I love you. Bye, guys.